Welcome to the preview of SBOeCube. SBOeCube is a business intelligence tool developed specially for SAP Business One. It comes with a predefined repository of reports, which means that you can start using SBOeCube within minutes instead of the days or months which will be required for other similar tools. SBOeCube has three types of reports. A pivot grid report, which is a two-dimensional crosstab report. We will also see the other types of reports, which is a one-dimensional grid report. SBOeCube also has graphical dashboards, which can be used for CXO and managerial reporting. As you can see, SBOeCube comes with a set of cubes. Each cube has a number of reports and may also have additional dashboards defined. We shall go into a report which is an item sales report. You can execute a report by double-clicking on the report card. On double-clicking the report card, a layout selection list is shown. A layout is basically the way the fields are organized in a report to provide for different types of analysis. So this report allows me 3 different saved analysis. I can of course go ahead and create any other analysis later on. We shall see how we can use layouts a little later. I will select the item sales analysis for now. I double click on this to select the layout. I am presented with a parameter selection. Parameters are optional for reports in SBOeCube. This basically allows the user to filter the report criteria so that my reports run faster and I can get data which is relevant to me. I will enter a date from, let's say, 1st of April 2005 up to, let's say, the 9th of April 2011. Here I am shown a list of companies which exist in my database. As you can see, SBOeCube allows for consolidation. That means I can select multiple companies in this list, and SBOeCube will automatically show me the consolidated report. For the time being, I'll select OEC Computers Australia. I'll select OEC Computers India, and I'll select OEC Computers as well. On clicking OK, the report is executed and I'm shown the report. As you can see, I'm shown an item sales analysis which shows me the quantity in sales by credit note and sales invoice, and we are also seeing the company-wise status. If I scroll down to the right, I can see that the grand total column shows me the total sales from all the 3 companies. In this way, you can actually see consolidated reports. If I remove the company name field from the report, I automatically get the total numbers. SBOeCube allows for easy drag and drop. So instead of analyzing the sales just by item, if I want to know which item has been sold to which customer, I can easily drag the card code field, or I can drag the card name, which is the customer name field. So I can get an analysis of which items have been sold to which customer. If I just want to see sales, I can use the filter on the type button and I can just select sales invoice. So instead of seeing credit notes, now I'm seeing just sales invoices. I can remove this field to the filter area to make this report just show me the single column. Now this layout which I have just created can be saved as a layout. So on clicking the save layout, I'm asked for a name and I can give an item customer sales only without credit notes. I can give this as a layout name, and later on I can retrieve the same layout so that I don't have to repeat the drag and drop operations or the filter operations. On the top toolbar of the pivot grid interface, you see a number of functions. Each of these functions allow me to do further analysis of my data. To show you these analytical options, I'm going to remove the card code and card name fields for now. What I'm presented with is a item sales analysis which shows me the quantity and the sales amount for the selected period. Let us remove the quantity as well for now. One of the analysis which is available in SBOeCube is the top n values option. I have a list of items for which I'm seeing sales. Now if the management wants to know what are my top selling items or what are my bottom selling items, I can use the top n values function. The fields which are used in the pivot grid are automatically shown here. So I'll select item name and sales. In case we had multiple fields, this drop down would have shown multiple fields. And let's say we want to see the top 10 items and we want to show the other items on a single row called others. So I'll make this selection and click on OK. As you can see, the report has changed now to show me the top 10 items and the other items. So using this, I can analyze what are my top 10 items. Similarly, by going again into top n values, if I select the bottom n values option, I now see the bottom 10 items and the others field. This can also be saved as a layout. So I can call it the bottom 10 items report. I could have also saved the top 10 items report to retrieve for later use. To remove the top n values, I can go back and I can reset the report. So now I'm shown all the items. In the field list, we've got a field called doc date. Now the doc date is basically the document date. If I drag it onto the report, it shows me the date-wise sales of each item. Typically, a management may not want to see the daily sales position. They may want to analyze sales by month or by week or by quarter. In such a case, what we can do is we can use the date interval function. The date interval function allows me to convert any date field in the report to any other time dimension. So we'll select the document date field and I'm presented with a list of dimensions. So let's say I want to analyze my sales by month. I can select the month in the conditions drop down, click on OK. If you can see, a field called doc date month has been added to the report. I can take this field and drag it to my column area. Automatically the report shows me the sales by month. Within each month, if I now want to see what are my sales by week, I can go back to the date interval function, again select the document date, and let's say this time I select week of month to give me the week within the month. Again, on clicking OK, a field is added called doc date week of month. I will drag this field to my layout, and within each month, now I can see sales by week. So using the date interval, I can create different kinds of time dimension analysis. I will drag the week of month field back to the filter area. Now, since we are seeing monthly sales, one question which may come is whether my sales are increasing or decreasing. This can be quickly analyzed by using the variation function. In the variation function, we can select the sales field and we can select percentage or absolute variation depending on whether we would like to see the variation as a percentage or whether we would like to see absolute figures. For now, we'll select percentage variation and click OK. The report has now changed to show me the percentage variation figures. So let's say for this item, the sales in January was 20,218. In February, it's 56,000. So there's a 180% growth. Further on in March, it has further increased to 108,000 and there's a 91% growth. So using variation, we can quickly analyze our growth or degrowth. Another question which may come up is how are my items performing with respect to contribution to total sales. Variation has another function called percentage of column. So I again select the sales column and I say give me percentage of column. Now the analysis changes to show me a set of percentages. The total sales, as you can see for January, is shown to be 100%. Server point 10,000 is contributing 2 million to my sales, which is 16% of the total. So using this function, I can do a contribution analysis. The items currently are sorted according to item name. But let's say I want to see my top contributing items. I can always right click on any field and I can say sort item name by this column. It's currently sorted in ascending order, but if I click on the field header, you can see that now I can see it in descending order. So the management can quickly see what is the contribution of each and every item to the total sales. We shall go now and retrieve a layout to go back to one of our original reports. So let's select the item sales analysis to go back to our original layout. We would remove the company name and the type fields to get our net sales. What you are seeing currently in the report is the sum of total sales for the selected companies and period. But let's say you want to know what is the minimum sales or what has been the maximum sales or the average sales. You can click on the field summary button. On clicking the button, you get a message showing that the summary change has been enabled for fields in the data area of the report, which is quantity and sales. On the field header, you can see that sales is now showing sum in brackets. If you left click on the field name, you get a list of different variations which you can apply to the field. So if I would like to see the average sales, I can change it to average. If I would like to see the minimum sales amount, I can go ahead and change this to the minimum sales amount. The certain amounts have been shown as 0. This means that the items were given free at some time or the other within the selected period. Within this item sales report, there are certain items which have sold in excess of 1 million, certain items which have sold less than 50,000. Sometimes the management may want to know which items are selling higher than a predefined figure or lower than a predefined figure. For that, you can use the formatting option. You can click on format and add a format condition. Select a field. So I would like to see sales greater than 1 million should be colored green. And we add another condition, sales less than 25,000 need to be colored red. Unfortunately, we don't have any sales less than 25,000. So let's go ahead and modify this condition and say items less than 75,000 need to be colored red. This kind of report immediately highlights the exceptions for you. Again, when you save the layout, these conditions are saved along with it. So I can call it the item sales exception report. And let's say I'm working on another layout. I can go anytime and I can retrieve the item sales exception report to show me what are the items which are falling short of my expectations. Another function which is available within the pivot grid interface is the ability to filter. There is an option called pre-filter in the toolbar. On clicking the pre-filter, you get a filter definition interface. Using the plus button, you can add any type of filter condition. You can add complex filter conditions with groups and with different operators. So let's say I'm looking for a particular item which contains the word info. I can apply this condition and immediately the report is filtered to show me the items which contain the word info. The filter conditions are shown at the bottom of the report, and you can always deselect or select the filter conditions. SBOeCube also allows you to add custom fields for what-if analysis. So let's say you would like to see if your sales price was increased by 10%, what would be your total sales figure? You can add a custom field and you can call it sales new. The type is decimal. You've got a set of functions and operators which can be used. The field list is also available. So we'll select the sales field into 1.1. When we click on OK, a field is added to the report called sales new. We drag it to the data area of the report, and as you can see, the field now shows me the amount increased by 10%. So now I can immediately see that if my sales were to increase or my price were to increase by 10%, what would be my item wise and my total sales. The pivot grid reports can be easily exported to Excel. So you can use the export functionality to export a report into PDF or Excel format. You can also check out the print preview and see how the report would look when printed. In the print preview mode, you can always use the export functionality to export into various different file formats. Another advantage which SBOeCube provides is once you export the report to, let's say, Excel, you will get to see in Excel exactly what you see on the screen. That means the formatting, the format conditions, etc. all preserved within Excel. Another functionality available within the pivot grid interface is the ability to integrate charts with the pivot interface. Once you click on chart integration, the field is divided into two halves. The bottom half contains a chart. As you select fields in the top hand pivot report, the chart is automatically drawn. Different types of chart options are available, which you can select to draw different types of chart. So let's say if I select the spline, the report is now converted to show me a spline chart. I can also choose what will be my point display. So let's say I want to see only the argument. I can see only the argument, or I can see values. Charts can also be exported into, let's say, an image to include in your PowerPoint presentations. The presentation layer of a chart allows you to change the various chart display options, like what are the series labels, how the chart should be oriented, where the legend should be shown, etc. This pivot interface which we've seen is available for all reports within SBOeCube. We have just seen one sales report, but a similar functionality would be available across purchase, AR, AP, GL, banking, CRM, all the other information cubes within SBOeCube. We shall go into one of the other cubes and check the grid report. We shall run the customer equipment card report. This has got only one saved layout, so I'll select that. And I'll select OEC Computers India and OEC Computers as the two companies for which I want to see the report. As we had discussed earlier, the grid interface shows me a one-dimensional reporting interface. Here I've got different fields which are arranged, and I can drag any field to the header area to group by that field. So let's say I want to see the equipment by serial number. So I can drag it and the data is grouped by serial number. If I want to group it by customer name first, I can drag the customer name field, and now it is showing me the report by customer and by serial number. So let's say Earthshaker Corporation has these equipment with them. I can always drag back a field to the layout in case I don't want to group it by that field. The grid reports also allow a similar layout saving functionality. Reports can again be exported to Excel. Typically, you would be using the grid reports for transactional analysis. You also have an exception formatting interface similar to the pivot grid and a date interval function which allows you similar functionality as the pivot grid. In the grid report, you can apply different filters by using the drop down options. So let's say I'm looking for a particular serial number. I can scroll down to my list and I can select that particular serial. So it shows me data for that serial. By selecting all, I see all the serials. The autofilter functionality adds a row to the top of the report. And let's say I'm looking for all items which start with SER. By typing that, the report is automatically filtered. So using this option, I can quickly search for any data which I want. By clicking on the totals, totals are enabled in the report. Since there are no value fields available, we don't see any totals, but on a report which has value fields, the total would be enabled. We shall now see a dashboard for SBOeCube. We'll select the sales dashboard. A dashboard can again have optional parameters. We will enter the date, let's say as 1st of January 2005, and we take the to date to be the 31st of January 2011, and we select the company only as OEC Computers India. The dashboard is loaded. As you can see, the dashboard has multiple dashlets. Each dashlet can be customized according to the user's needs. So let's say this dashlet has a filter. This filter can be cleared and other filters added. So currently there is only one company, so you're seeing only one company, but let's say we go to type. We again have only sales invoices for this company, but let's say card name, we can see that multiple companies are shown. So if I take Earthshaker Private Limited only and click on finish, it filters the data only for Earthshaker Private Limited. Let's clear this filter. Each dashlet can again be customized to show different types of chart. So let's say I want to view this in a pie chart. I can select pie and click on finish. It shows me the same data in a pie chart. Now here we are seeing the values of each of the dimensions. Instead of values, if you would like to see the names, we can select the argument option. So here it is showing me the names. We can also change the dashboard to show me names and values. Dashboard layouts can also be saved. So once a dashboard layout is saved, it can be retrieved exactly in the same format. Using the customize layout functionality, you can customize the way the dashboard looks. So let's say I want to change the dashboard layout and I want to add another dashlet which is available in the dashboard. I can do that and then I can save the layout. On closing and reopening the dashboard, it shows me exactly in the same layout. Using the presentation layer, I can set up certain presentation options. So in this case, the labels on the axis are overlapping. So I can go into the axis labels option and I can say stagger the labels. So now if you see, the labels are staggered. By changing the font sizes and the font names, I can ensure that the labels do not stagger at all. Again, all of this is saved along with the dashboard layout. Within each dashlet, you can set out certain drill down and drill back options. So here the drill down is set from customer name to item name, and the top 3 items are to be shown. So if I click on HP India, it drills me down to the items which have been sold. Similarly, if I select Pixel Telecommunication, it shows me the top 3 items. In this case, there was only one item. The advantage for a dashboard again is that it's not defined for a particular company. So if I click on refresh, and from OEC Computers India, if I select OEC Computers as well, the dashboard is now loaded with data for both the companies. And here I can add company name also as a drill down option. So it shows me the data which can be drilled down right up to the company level, or company can be set up as the first level drill down option. SBOeCube also comes with a comprehensive security tool called the User Administrator, using which roles and users can be defined. A field level security is also allowed, so that you can restrict users to certain field values. The role-based security allows you to set up security at the cube level with a further option to drill down to reports within cubes. For example, for the B1 sales cube, if I want to give access to particular reports only, I can click on the reports option, click on add, and then select particular reports to which I want to assign permissions. SBOeCube comes with a report designer interface which allows you to add cubes and reports and dashboards in a easy to use interface. SBOeCube can be used with other databases as well apart from SAP Business One. The application functionality can be used to define additional application. For each application, you can define its own connection string. Since SBOeCube supports all OLEDB compliant databases, SBOeCube can be used to connect practically to every database which supports ODBC connectivity. Reports and dashboards are again easy to customize. You can use either SQL queries or the built-in query editor provided within SBOeCube, which can be used to configure reports without any knowledge of SQL. This is all about SBOeCube. We thank you for your time and patience and look forward to your feedback and suggestions. Thank you once again.